Left, and obviously Derek's here and he's trainer. So very disappointed he's not here, because obviously we were all looking forward to seeing these two guys and seeing Malik. It's pretty unprofessional of these promoters not to let these guys know that there is a press conference. You know, as a promoter, I'm in the business of selling fights. The public want to have the confidence that the guys are here, but anyway, that's where we are. So apologies to everybody who did take the trouble to come here today. Derek has trained very, very hard for this fight. It's probably the best condition I've seen him in since I've been involved with him, which is from the beginning. He knows how important the fight is. As always, he's always dependable. He shows up on time, he's here. And I'm sure in a moment he'll answer any questions that you need to ask him. This is quite a big step for him. It's a fight that he absolutely cannot afford to lose. This is a fight for Derek that will take him to another level. Scott is a quality fighter. He's 35 wins, one draw, and a very debatable draw that was, if anybody's seen that fight. He's a fighter that's been avoided by a lot of people, but Derek, I don't think, has ever avoided anybody. In fact, he's always asked him for the big names. And as I say, this is an old-fashioned heavyweight fight that I think the fans are going to enjoy. As you know, on the card we've also got the WBO International Middleweight Championship between the undefeated Gary O'Sullivan, who's the champion from Dublin, Ireland, and he will be facing up against England's and Britain's own Billy Joe Saunders, who's the British and Commonwealth champion, who's 17-0. Carl Frampton will be making his debut on a FWP show. He will be fighting Nicaraguan Everth Brequeno, who's got quite a good record, 26 knockouts from 35 fights. And then we've got a great undercard feature, some of the best young fighters around the country. The undefeated Frank Buglioni, Callum Johnson, Bradley Saunders, Bradley Skeet, Billy Morgan, Tom Baker, and Joey Taylor. And we'll be making a debut on an FWP show, Steve Collins Jr. Steve, I promoted for many, many years. He's one of my favourite fighters. We had some great times together. He's the guy that upset every one of them, Steve Collins. Beat Nigel Benn, beat Chris Eubanks, and apparently his son's a bit of a handful, so I'm looking forward to seeing him fighting on Saturday. Anyway, we have management here. We have Derek and his trainer, so if you've got any questions, please go ahead and ask them.
Derek, what do you feel about your opponent not appearing here today?
No, that's not to me. I think it's miscommunication between between Richard and them. So, but it's alright. The guy, he has to, apparently he's sleeping, so he has to sleep. So why not? But as Frank said, man, we're in the business of selling tickets. So if he's not here, I might have to cut his paycheck down a little bit.
Frank said you're in the best shape he's seen you in. What's contributed to that? What have you done differently?
Frank stopped sending me those biscuits, those Jaffa biscuits, I think. Nah, you know, I've been using this new dietitian guy. It's called Soulmate Food, and he's sent me food at my house and stuff like that. And it's been working very well for me, and I got more energy. I feel more stronger with this diet, and it's been going good for me. For the first time in my life, I started realizing I got a six-pack.
It used to be a party for.
In every training session, yeah, after he takes a snapshot of
Snapchat,
and he sends it to all his friends. He's never ever done that.
Yeah,
At last,
six-pack.
Realised he's got a body, you know.
Like someone's down there, boy.
The only six-pack you had before had biscuits in it.
Exactly.
He's off the McVitie diet. Yeah.
What stuff are you eating that you didn't used to before?
No, man, everything is cut off, you know. I'm more on fish and chicken. I'm off red meat for a while now.
Why is it taking this long for you to sort your diet out?
Because I'm gonna fuck up Malik Scott, that's why. Sorry.
I'll tell you why, because he hid it from us. And I found out by accident after his last fight. Somebody told me that because he trains hard. I know he trains hard in the gym, you know. I'll get the reports and I'm told what he's doing down there. But every time he was leaving the gym, he was getting into the car and he was eating packets of biscuits. He was going home, relaxing, eating packets of biscuits, and that is not a good diet for a boxer. And that's why he was carrying all that extra weight around with him, which he didn't need. And this fight's all going to be about speed. You know, Malik's got a style that, you know, I've watched. He's, as I say, he's undefeated. He's undefeated for a reason. And the style to beat this guy, you've got to match him for speed. You've got to press him, and this is what he'll do. And it's going to be a different Derek Chisora in the ring. No doubt about that.
How's your fighter looking, my friend?
Well, he's from Philadelphia, you know, so, you know, he's not here to speak for himself, but I've trained 23 world champions, and he's one hell of a fighter. This is not going to be won by your mouth. This is going to be won by in the ring, and we've been, you know, when you see a fighter that's 35-0, no matter if he fought biscuits or whatever it is, believe me, he can fight. So he's very fast, he's very clever. I'm not a boxing coach, I'm a fighting coach. I did that with Layman Brewster when he knocked out Galata in his hometown. He threw 55 punches in 50-something seconds and he was down 3 times. I believe you win fights by fighting. Malik's got all the boxing skills in the world, but he's going to fight this one. So we're going to see a good fight.
And that's just, he said, you know, he's very well respected. His record speaks for itself as a trainer. But equally as good, we've got a great trainer here who's finally got his man focused.
Have you seen much of Derek Chisora?
Yeah, I have.
You
You know, and you know something, everybody's, in a fight, watching people on film is a lot different than when you put him in the ring. I mean, he's got a lot of heart, he wants to fight, he likes to fight. Sometimes maybe he didn't eat right or he didn't do this right or that, but we're expecting the best out of him. And he's gonna get the best, so you're gonna see a hell of a fight. I'm not saying boxing, I'm saying you're gonna see a hell of a fight.
Derek can't fight Malik like he fights everybody else. So, you know, it's different when you got someone that's so big and strong and fast with small gloves in front of you that can move like a middleweight. So it's not gonna, you know, you can see him on TV and say, you know, say this and say that. But when you face up with a guy like this who's that skillful, and I'm gonna use with one of Derek's comments, the Rolls Royce of boxing, that's what Malik is. And, you know, we're gonna show all the skills and everything's gonna come to the ring Saturday and we're here to fight.
Which fights have you seen the tapes of? The Klitschko fight, the David Hay fight?
Well, I've seen a lot of the press conferences where somebody's trying to knock the shit out of one another and play like they're going to knock the shit out of one another. Like I said, talking doesn't win fights or bullying doesn't win fights. What wins fights is getting in the ring, face to face, you against somebody else, and then after it's over, you see who does the talking. The talking is bullshit. Fights is fights. And we're here to fight.
Any more questions? We're done? You're going to get a fight. There's going to be a fight. Philadelphia, a fighting city. I lived there for a while, so I know Philadelphia, and it is a tough city, but I believe in my man. I know Jess.
I live in Hampstead, so it's all right.
He lives in Hampstead, a real fighting.
I live in Hampstead, so it's all right. It's fine.
He lives in Hampstead, and
There's no fighting going on
there's
there.
no fighting going on there. But
So many rabbis there, but it's all good.
Yeah, when you got to fight for your lunch, then
That's
you're
terrible.
fighting.
Yeah.
We've been fighting for our lunch from the day we were born.
That's right.
Yeah, me and Derek, yeah, where we come from. If we're talking about areas don't necessarily make you are the company you keep, they say, but when it comes to toughness, you can't come tougher than where we originally come from. We live here, and we appreciate living in England.
I live in Hampstead.
Okay, he lives in Hampstead, I don't. But where we come from, we're already conditioned for the toughness. That's Africa.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's some tough boys come out of there. I'm from East LA, and I was one of the few white guys in East LA. And I had to
Are
fight.
you white?
I'm white.
Damn.
Yeah, I got some black blood in me too. When I went to North Carolina, when in the Olympic trials, when I was fighting in the service, I was the only white guy with Al Robinson and all these guys in the bus, and I had all these people looking at me. I had never been around racial bullshit, because I played football with many of black athletes, and I was part of that. I've also trained at the Hoover Street Gym, and me and Frankie Crawford were the only two white guys in the gym. So I know what it is when somebody tells you, hey, white boy, go over there and practice falling down, you're gonna do a lot of it. So, you know, it's, the way you're brought up and the tough things you go through life is beautiful for boxing because it makes you a better person. And I found out that prejudice that everybody had, that were looking at me like I was white, those same guys are hugging me today because I learned to get their respect, and I got their respect. And
That's the greatness of boxing.
they called Jesse Burnett and I salt and pepper. And, you know, Jesse was my sparring partner when he first came out of prison. And I ended up liking him a lot. I ended up being his manager, and he beat 4 world champions on non-title fights. So I know what it is to be the underdog and what it is to be the best.
I think mentally, you have to be tough in boxing because when these guys get in the ring Saturday night, it's going to be a chess match. And, you know, where we was born and where we were from and what hospital we were born in is not going to play too much of a role when they face off Saturday night. It's going to be the mental toughness and who's going to dig the deepest and who's going to, you know, let their chest show that night, let their heart show that night. It's going to be a real good fight. You know, we thank Frank Warren and Derek for, you know, calling us over here for this fight because a lot of people won't fight us. And
So we're going to reschedule this tomorrow. The two guys get together tomorrow, and Richard will give you the details within the next.
hopefully I get the email.
You will get it.
And that's your. Well, we sent the email.
No, we got it now.
Yeah.
We know where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't know something, it's not that we don't want to be here. We're proud to be here, and we will be here on the next one.
Right. Well, thanks very much, and we'll see you hopefully all tomorrow.